Hello, say hi to a happy day and enjoy listening while I read to you a story. Bubble Trouble. Corn and Peg were having a Captain Thunderhoof fan club party. There were games, cupcakes, and a big bubble machine. Bubble, Ferdy shouted, jumping around. Be careful, little buddy, Corn said. You don't want to knock over or the. Before Corn could finish his sentence, Ferdy jumped up and knocked the bubble machine into the fountain. Suddenly there was a loud noise. I really hope that's your tummy rumbling, Corn, Peg said, but it was the fountain. The bubble soap had mixed with the water, creating hundreds of bubbles that floated into the air. How are we going to get all these bubbles out of the fountain? Corn asked Peg. They're already coming out, Peg responded. Look, Peg was right. The fountain was full of bubbles and it was starting to overflow, creating a bubble storm. Slippery saddles, Corn and Peg shouted. Everybody to the playground. The ponies galloped to the playground and climbed up the jungle gym to get away from the bubble storm. But the bubbles kept coming. Peg looked for a way out. I know, she said. If we all slide down the slide, we'll just miss the bubbles. Corn nodded. It'll take some teamwork. Let's giddy up and go. Do-gooders unite! Corn and Peg cheered. Peg slid first. The coast is clear, Corn, she called. Send everyone down. One by one, Corn and Peg's friends slid to safety until only Corn was left. Peg grinned. Come on, let's go. Thanks for making sure we all got to dry land, Fairy said. You guys are a great team. Clarissa said to Corn and Peg. I'm just glad we got everybody out before the bubbles got worse, said Pig. Just then, the friends noticed a chicken stuck in a floating bubble. The bubble storm was spreading and carrying everything away. Uh-oh, I think it got worse, Corn said. And a short time later, Corn and Peg watched the Sheriff Switchstone spoke to a reporter about the bubbles. Galloping Grove has been hit by a bubble storm, the reporter said. What can you tell us, Sheriff? The sheriff laughed. No need to worry, folks. It's only bubbles. Everything will be fine. Phew, Sheriff Switchstone says there's nothing to worry about, Corn said. Thank goodness no one is in danger, Peg agreed. Suddenly, the friends heard a familiar cheery laugh. It was Ferdy. He was having fun inside a bubble, but was floating away. Ferdy's bubble floated straight toward Pointy Mountain. The mountain since Pointy Peak will burst his bubble, Peg said. We need to get him fast, Corn said. At that moment, a bubble popped over Peg's head and a Captain Thunderhoof plate fell out of it. Captain Thunderhoof, Peg said. She always helps us when a problem gets too big. Let's call to her, Corn said. Peg flapped her wings. Corn stomped his hooves, and together they chanted, Wings of might, horns so bright, Captain Thunderhoof, Captain Thunderhoof, Captain Thunderhoof. Corn and Peg clapped their hooves together. A rainbow shot into the sky and Captain Thunderhoof flew down from the clouds. It sounds like someone needs help, said Captain Thunderhoof. Hello, my favorite do-gooders, Captain Thunderhoof. Ferdy's trapped in a bubble and headed toward Pointy Mountain, said Peg. Hop on, Team Do-Good, she said. Corn and Peg scrambled onto her back. To the skies! Captain Thunderhoof flew after Ferdy, but every time she got close, her powerful wings created wind that pushed the bubble closer to the mountain. Corn had an idea. Maybe if you fly us to the top, we can gently push Ferdy's bubble away from the mountain. Peg nodded. And you can fly below to catch him in the sky in case he falls, she said to Captain Thunderhoof. Great teamwork, Do-Gooders, said Captain Thunderhoof. She took Corn and Peg to the top of the mountain. Corn and Peg watched as Ferdy's bubble floated closer and closer. When he was close enough, Peg jumped as high as she could and gave Ferdy's bubble a gentle push. Ferdy floated the other way, right into a big cloud of bubbles. Corn knew what to do. I'll use my horn to pop the bubbles, he said. Great idea, said Peg. Peg grabbed Corn by his feet. Then, while flapping her wings as hard as she could, she held him upside down so he could pop the bubbles, and around him, pop, pop, pop. Peg and Corn finally cleared the way to Freddy's bubble, releasing him. Stretching, Corn popped it, and a second later, Peg lost her grip on Corn. The three friends fell through the air. Gotcha, Captain Thunderhoof said, waiting below to catch them all. We did it thanks to teamwork, Peg shouted when they were safely on the ground. Captain Thunderhoof nodded. Great job, you two. I'll be on my way, but not before I clean up this bubble trouble. Captain Thunderhoof shot into the sky. Using her magical do-gooding power, she popped all the bubbles in the park and returned the fountain to normal. The bubble storm was gone. Corn, look! Our party's back on, Peg said. Let's go get our friends. Corn said, but maybe we can leave the bubbles at home. Ferdy gasped. He would miss the bubbles. Corn grinned. Don't worry, Ferdy. I have balloons. Balloons, 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 Ferdy cried happily. Taking hold of one, he began to float into the air. Corn leaped up and grabbed Ferdy. Whoa there, he said. Let's keep you on the ground this time. Peg laughed. That sounded like a great idea. The end. I hope you enjoyed listening to this story, Bubble Trouble. Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to listen to more of our favorite book stories. See you soon.